Hey guys, Satoshi here, and today we're talking about, is it too late for Hawk to come back? So, is it too late for Hawk? All right. Don't forget to subscribe if you already haven't. Turn on notifications so that you'll never miss another Cobra Kai video whenever we put them out. Help get this video to 100 likes if you'd like me to continue putting out more Cobra Kai videos like this one. And please help new and old Cobra Kai fans and the Karate Kid fans find these videos by sharing them on social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and others. And now let's begin. So today we're discussing, is it too late for Hawk? Is it too late for Hawk to come back? Now, this video was partially inspired, I think, by a comment in one of my other videos where someone basically said, if Hawk can come back from this, from where he's gone, because it looks like Hawk is headed really, really, really towards the dark side of the Force right now. What does that mean? Well, after the events of season 2, Hawk is hurting a lot. He's sad, he's feeling broken, he's feeling maybe even alone, because someone he cared about so much, Miguel, has been hurt. And a lot of that happened because Miguel showed mercy. And it's funny because Hawk took Johnny's teachings very quickly. Don't forget, I think it was at the All Valley tournament. I think that's what it was, where Hawk was, and Johnny was like, that was really harsh of you, Hawk. Like when maybe he was fighting Robbie, I forget. And Hawk basically says, what do you want me to act like? Huh? And that kind of showed that Hawk had taken a step up. It's like walking the line. Do you finish the fight, or do you surrender or show mercy? Because think about showing mercy. Showing mercy and showing honor are two different things. And I think that was something that Johnny said. And when Miguel chose not to finish the fight with Robbie, he was showing mercy. Okay? Not honor. You know what an honorable fight is a fight where you finish the fight. And a lot of people are going to say, what? Yeah, an honorable fight is a fight where you finish the fight. People think that it's honorable to take pity on your opponent, but that's not true. Especially if you believe what you're doing is right. Okay? Like, you have to be realistic. Sadeki says true, but John says it right here. Honor versus no mercy. Yeah, they're not the same. That's the thing. They are not the same, okay? Choosing to show no mercy is not a means of being honorable. In some ways, you could say it's almost like being a coward. And you're gonna say, well, how can you call someone who shows mercy a coward? Because they weren't. Well, think about this. They were not ready to finish the fight. Because, there's a saying that there's some people you can't negotiate with in this world, and you think you're being kind to them by not finishing the fight. Think about this. If Miguel had finished the fight between him and Robbie, he wouldn't have ended up in the hospital very likely, and Robbie wouldn't be in jail right now. It's because Miguel chose not to finish the fight why we see this. Sadeki says in the comments, and I think this is a good point. He says Hawk is going to go crazy in season 3. I mean, guys, think about it. It's a good point. Seeing his friend go from being functional to potentially a wheelchair, or if he passes away this season, we don't know what's exactly is going to happen. But what Hawk has been through is something just it's extremely traumatic to see what he's witnessed. How he saw, what he saw happen to Miguel, and the fact that he's blaming Johnny, and even Johnny's blaming himself. And it's funny because Carmen is blaming Johnny for all of this as well. The thing that she doesn't know is that, no, she's like, I don't know what you taught him at that school. And the truth is that what happens when she finds out, I taught him mercy. I taught him to show mercy. Our school's original policy was no mercy. And I taught him to show mercy. He didn't finish the fight, and this is why this happened, right? Let's be realistic. Miguel, any day is much closer to Robbie, much closer to Johnny than Robbie. Okay, and it's the honesty. Miguel, Robbie loves Miguel like a son. He is it. That's his son. That's his son. He doesn't know Robbie. All right. He loves Miguel and he loves Carmen, and they go together perfectly. Perfectly. It's the family he's always wanted, and maybe I can even say maybe the family he's always needed. But when we think about what's going to happen in season 3, and you look at the state of Hawk right now, it really does look like Hawk is going to go crazy in season 3. Like he's just going to lose it, you know? And someone asked, do I think did someone asked in another video, I think maybe it was in the comments or in the live chat, I think maybe in the comments, I think they said something like, do I think Hawk will like rise up to the occasion and become like Cobra Kai's best student? It depends on what you mean by best. Most vicious? Probably. Because Miguel, I mean, he's already technically the most vicious student in Cobra Kai to some degree. Because as we can see, Miguel shows mercy. Hawk, that's something that Hawk was very, very, very much against from the very beginning. And while Hawk is skinny, I definitely think that he has the ability and the capacity to surpass Miguel or even at least stand equal to him. There's no reason why. When we watch the tournament, it's Miguel and Hawk are shown as being very close to the same level in terms of fighting capability. Maybe Miguel is a bit better. I don't know. I'll be honest. But Hawk is strong. Hawk is determined. And there's something else. Hawk is training hard. All right? Hawk's training. And we need to be realistic about that. So Snack Alter says, Hawk to surpass Miguel? I think it's possible. I think it's highly possible that Hawk could surpass Miguel. Okay? How because in this series the writers always kind of want like the main hero, which is really Miguel in this context for this, to be above, but we don't know because they really throw different things at us. Okay? Now, he can potentially surpass Miguel, but then Miguel can come back and say, you know what, Hawk, you've gone too far and I'm going to have to stop you. I don't know. I don't know if I don't even know if Miguel blames Robbie for what actually happened to him. Like, we think that he does, but does he actually? Think on that for a moment. Just think on it for a moment. Do you think Miguel will actually blame Robbie? All right, or rather, let me correct myself. Will he actually blame Johnny? Will he blame Johnny for what happened? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Now, I like this comment. I like this comment that someone just left. Shy Boy says, Miguel's biggest flaw was he let his guard down too many times. I agree. And well, but this was the comment that I liked the most though. So in terms of his biggest flaw, so he definitely let his guard down too many times, and that was a flaw. That was a flaw, but I don't know if I'd call that his biggest flaw. Sadeki, this is the comment I wanted to say, but you guys both said it. Sadeki, I agree with this one more. I think Miguel's flaw is that he fought for Sam. It's true. It's true. Like, I mean, even in that fight, I didn't even remember this. He said something to Robbie like Sam loves me, like something like that. And his mistake was even though he knew, like, he needs to get over Sam, he basically used that as a reason, and he was still fighting over a woman that was not just continuously dragged him through the mud. It's like, look at Tori. Tori's beautiful. Tori's kind to him. She is kind. She is kind. Even though a lot of people may not see it. Tori has kindness. Look how she treated Aisha. She is kind. Now, don't get me wrong. She's wrong for what she did at the school with the whole bracelet. But Tori's a kind girl overall, I think, in her own way. And it just surprises me how Miguel, like, he technically cheated on Tori. All right. And Sam cheated on Robbie. And it's crazy because like the very next day, after that whole drunken mess, or like shortly after that, I don't know if it was the very next day, but shortly after that, when she heads back to school, and Robbie's there like stuck with Johnny. It's like she knows, like she seems nervous when she sees Robbie at school, and he like gives her a kiss, and I'm like, is she nervous because she knows that she just kissed someone else, like she cheated on him, and he doesn't even know she cheated on him? Like I didn't even think about this. Like she cheated on him. She kissed Miguel. All right. You want to say they kissed each other? Fine, but at least say that she was equally involved. All right. And she didn't tell him. It's like we just kind of keep on giving her ways out. And I think that Hawk is going to be furious. Like he's going to be furious. And will he blame Sam? It's possible. I think he's going to blame everyone in Cobra Kai, and not in Cobra Kai. He'll blame Johnny. He already does, I think. But he's going to blame everyone in Miyagi, though. And it's going to be serious. Jada says it right there. Sam lied to everyone, which led up to this. Yeah. He said his, but I assume he meant this. Yeah, absolutely. Sadeki says Tori and Miguel will get back together because they helped each other together. They did. Like, it's so true. Like, they really grew together. David Strong is in the chat. What's up, David? It's been a while since I've seen you, bro. Been a while since I've seen you. Good to see you here, David. He says Tori is fine. She absolutely is. She is gorgeous. She's definitely a beautiful woman. Nixter says none of this would have happened if Sam existed. So I guess if you mean if her character was never in the series, none of this would have happened. And I can't say it wouldn't. So here's the thing: Daniel existed, and the problem with Daniel is that he's the type of person that is so unaccountable that Sam is really just an extension of Daniel's bad behavior that has permeated for generations now, for over 30 years, So it's like saying that everything bad that happened in the series is because of Sam. I wouldn't say that, but she played a role in almost everything, in every serious catastrophe that happened. Like she had a role in almost everything, but let's not forget about her father, who was like right there alongside her, trying to destroy Johnny's life, even after his life had been decimated for so long. Armando says something interesting. He says that Hawk is now brainwashed by Kreese, so now Hawk is basically young Johnny. I want to say, like, is he truly brainwashed by Kreese? Because, like, is Kreese wrong? Because this is a hard world that we live in, and we have to stand up for ourselves, because no one else is going to stand up for us. And I'm learning that the hard way. Even as an adult, there are people who will demand that you trust them, and they'll be out there destroying your life in the background. I'm being honest. Like, the saying no mercy is right. It's right. No mercy does not mean no honor, but no mercy. Finish the fight. Like, you have to finish the fight. Some people feel like if they try to finish the fight, then it's going to like turn out bad for them. Maybe the person at the end might, get one up. Like, so for example, if you put someone's back against the wall too much, having honor means showing mercy. Having honor does not mean showing mercy. That's not right at all. Having honor means being respectful to your opponent. Respect, all right? Respect and mercy are not the same thing, all right? For example, you can end a fight honorably where your opponent just doesn't walk away, but you ended it honorably, okay? Without disrespecting them. You acknowledge them and you finish the fight, all right? Taking mercy on them is like saying you would hope they would take mercy on you. But here's the thing, your enemy, look at what happened to Robbie. Your enemy isn't going to have mercy on you, so why would you have mercy on them? There are times, there's a thing in the art of war, like, whatever your enemy's back is against the wall, don't try to escalate it to the point, like, like, have honor. Like, for example, you have a bunch of, like, you're in a fight, you're in a war, and there's a bunch of soldiers that are left, right? And they're not going to win. They're absolutely not going to win. But at this point, they have nothing left. So let's say they want to surrender, right? You give them the option to surrender, and they surrender, you can take them in. All right, you can capture them, and you can continue on. That and and that's an option, because if you're in a situation where your enemy becomes desperate, right? Then they can that's when they can really rise up. So there's a difference between honor, right? And even then it still would be your choice depending on the situation, if you finish finish the fight there and then with them. But there is a difference between honor and mercy. All right, okay, like allowing your opponent to actually surrender, that you can put that on their honor. But choosing to like not finish the fight and let them walk away, that's not mercy. That's not honor. And calling that mercy, no, that's just stupidity, because now they'll get up and they'll come back and do the same thing all over again, or worse. It's the truth. Hmm. Maybe the doctors is Carmen. Maybe one of the doctors is Carmen. I think Carmen's actually a nurse. I think Carmen is actually a nurse, to be honest with you. I don't think she's a doctor. I gotta check that. I have to check that, but I think she's actually a nurse. But yeah, guys, I mean, I don't know. I think that Hawk is going to rise to the occasion, and like I think that we're potentially looking at a future where he is more or less like a John Kreese. Like I think like in a future series, I could see Hawk being like literally a John Kreese. Like that's his mentor. Sadaki says Carmen is an X-ray technician. Yeah. So there you go. Sadeki says that Carmen is an X-ray technician. Yeah, I don't think she's a doctor. They don't seem like they have a lot. They don't seem to have a lot of money. Maybe she makes decent money as an X-ray technician, but she's not a doctor. I don't think she's pulling in a lot of money. But she's also a great person. Shai says yes, Hawk is brainwashed. He'll become Johnny, go out onto the world with no mercy nonsense, just like Johnny's friends. I don't know. I'm not going to say that he's going to go out there and rinse and repeat what Johnny did in the world. I think that he's going to be more like Kreese. Johnny, I just don't see Johnny as being as bad as people remember him. I can understand if you say that he was influenced by Kreese and he did things that were not great or bad, outright bad, like with the motorcycles, I think, and Daniel chasing that. But at the same time, Daniel is a delinquent, and Daniel actually he escalated that. I think that happened after he was like, Johnny was like relaxing in the bathroom, and Daniel decides that he's gonna like soak him with water, like provoking the poor guy. And you can watch that in Matthew J. Turner's original video. I think it was like titled "Daniel is the Real Bully." I mean, guys, like if you wake up, like I just don't know. I feel like that Hawk will be much, much, much more intense than Johnny. Like Johnny wasn't all that intense. Just look at the end of and look at the All Valley tournament where Johnny went up against Daniel, and there was the whole thing about sweep the leg, and Johnny didn't want to do that. Johnny did not want to sweep the leg. And you know what's funny? Everyone's like, Hawks, like Kreese is a villain. But let me ask you something. Kreese told Johnny to exploit his enemy's weakness, his opponent's weakness. What's dishonorable about that? You guys are in war. You're fighting. Okay, you are in war. Think about these. You're in a war, and what you want to be fancy? All right. So sweep the leg. I don't think that was not an illegal move. It was simply that he already knew that the leg was damaged, and it would seem dishonorable to do that. But you're in a fight, so of course you're going to exploit. You're going to use every exploit that you can. If you know that your opponent's leg is damaged, you'd naturally go for your opponent's weak spot, right? Think about the logistics. You'd go for your opponent's weak spot. You're in an actual battle. What Daniel did with that whole crane kick thing, that was an illegal move. Like, what the heck? Like, he could have done some serious damage to Johnny with that move. Like, I think he was barefoot at the time. Like, I mean, he could have kicked him in the eye. He could have. Who the heck? This crane kick nonsense, is that even real? I mean, Kreese actually talked about it. Martin Cove talked about it. Like, this was an illegal move. So why did it happen? Why didn't they foul him? Because of Hollywood. Because it's Hollywood. But that whole crane kick nonsense, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. And we're all like, yeah, he executed it. He did it. This is so awesome. Dude, who fights like that? Like, I mean, seriously, you're in an actual match. Now, if they were in like an unregulated match, then it's one thing. But think about this. They lied their way into the All Valley tournament, right? They lied their way in. And then Daniel finishes it off by using an illegal move. You've got to be kidding me. All right? And I think that the reason why Kreese was so angry at Johnny was because Johnny appeared to be hesitate at the end after the tournament. And you can just say Kreese is a jerk. But think about this. Johnny was hesitating. Johnny was hesitating 100%. Like even sweep, like he could have done much more. Like he could have gone much harder. He was hesitating to finish off Daniel. All right? And that is one of the things that cost him at the tournament. Because he was acting like he wanted to show mercy when Daniel didn't show any mercy. Hawk is going to become Kreese or like Terry Silver. I don't really know much about Terry Silver, but I think Terry like has money. I don't know. Maybe he might become like Terry Silver. Maybe you're right. But I really feel like John Kreese. I feel like he's gonna become like Kreese, or maybe like a mixture of the two. But I don't know. I feel like Kreese is like his sensei. John says, yeah, big disadvantage using a crane, a crane kick. Who the heck does something like that? I'm so serious. Sadeki says, I know Sam and Miguel still love each other and they get back together in season 4. I hope they never get back together. Shy Demir says, sorry for profanity, but blank Sam. Yeah, like forget Sam. Yeah, I understand. I understand entirely. I understand your frustration with her as a character. And it's so funny because there's some people who are like, this guy, one person, I assume it's the guy who said that, I think I saw the comment today, and they said, Sam is my waifu, and that's like a Japanese thing for like, I think like your virtual wife, kind of like how they have like those anime characters or in like these animated games and, oh, this is my waifu. I mean, like it's like they have these images of what the perfect woman is, and they're basically treating Sam like she's the perfect woman, Like when you start seeing a person as perfect and you're not able to see their flaws and call them out on their flaws, then you're not in an equal relationship with them and you're not being honest with yourself or with them. You have to be honest with a person. You have to be willing for a person to no longer want to be friends with you or speak to you or whatever. Like if you truly care about a person, then you have to be honest with yourself and them. It doesn't mean that you have to be mean or rude, but there comes a time when you have to be honest and open up and tell them what you really think, even if it means that it could destroy the relationship with them. And a lot of people are putting Sam on a pedestal. They have her on a pedestal. They see her as this perfect girl. They don't like Tori because Tori's poor. Tori doesn't take bull crap, take nonsense from anyone. She stands up for herself. And they don't like that. It's hard for them. Jada says, no, don't get back together. He is a cheater and a liar. What you mean? Oh, you mean she is a cheater? She's a cheater. She is a cheater. Miguel did not. He definitely should have spoken to Tori and told Tori what happened. Although I don't know if he had the opportunity. Maybe he did. I don't know. But he should have told Tori what happened and he should have fessed up to it. And he is definitely as guilty. He's definitely guilty for engaging in that whole kiss with Sam because it was absolutely wrong. It was absolutely wrong. I'd have to go back and watch it because I don't want to blame Sam for. I'm trying to be objective, but at the same time, it's so hard with Samantha LaRusso because it's like it feels like everyone is always making an excuse for her. It's like everyone's always making an excuse for her, and it's like it has to come to an end. Armando says a good point that he didn't have time. Referring to telling Tori about what happened. That was when the cops came, and I think you're right. Like shortly after that happened. Saidaiki says Miguel is a king and he should move on. He should. And I think Tori is awesome. You know? I think so. I think so. Armando says Sam is worse than Tori. I truly believe it. Tori's, Tori. I put it like I'll put it this way. Tori is the bad girl, but Sam is a bad person. I think I'll talk more about that in another video. But Tori is a bad girl, but Tori is the bad girl of the series, but Sam is a bad person. Let me know if you agree with that. Let me know what you think about Hawk. And if Hawk, if Hawk can come back from this, because he's headed to the dark side right now. He's headed to the dark side of the force right now. Let me know. That's the way it feels to me. I'll get this video to 100 likes if you want me to continue putting out more videos like this, more Cobra Kai videos like this, and also share the video on social media so both new and old Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid fans can find these videos. Turn on notifications and never miss another video again, and definitely subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, go and subscribe now. Hit the subscribe button so you will always get a notification whenever I put out a new Cobra Kai video, and you'll see them popping up. But yeah, guys, that's everything that I have for you. Let me know what you think, if Hawk can come back from this, if he will, find balance in the force. I hope he does. But at this point, it looks like things may end up escalating much further. It's like people saying things that they get worse before they get better. But I have faith, just like I have faith that in this world right now, things will right themselves and we will emerge into a brighter future. I believe that when it comes to Hawk, he has potential. It's just that much of the pain and the suffering and the stress that he's gone through in life have shaped his views right now. But I do believe that he still has potential. One of the hard things is having a guy like Dimitri around him who never takes accountability. And, Hawk looks at that and says, I don't want to be that guy again. And I think that is a bit damaging. But I think that Hawk is going to just have to keep working on himself and work to find himself. And maybe if he finds really good mentorship, because Johnny is not the best of mentors for Hawk, I don't think. I don't think he's the best mentor for Hawk. I think that there may be someone else who is better, who's a better mentor. I don't know. It's like somebody want to say, well, in another season, what if Johnny and Miguel, not Johnny and Miguel, Johnny and Daniel start a new dojo, and both Johnny is a teacher and Daniel's a teacher. Maybe he can learn, while Daniel, I don't think, is a great teacher, I do think that Daniel could pass on a lot of interesting knowledge to Hawk. And some of the best knowledge he can pass on are teachings of Mr. Miyagi. And I think if Hawk can learn from the best of both worlds, from the philosophy of Miyagi, as well as take ideas from Kreese, instead of looking at everything as black and white, I think that at that point he can actually find real balance. And maybe that's something that might end up happening with Miguel later on. Okay? But Sadaki says Hawk will have the best redemption arc. I hope so. Maven says Hawk is so cool. Yeah, he really is. And it's because he stood up for himself, and he stood up for what he believed in, and he stood up for what he thought was right. Anyway, guys, help get this video to 100 likes, subscribe, turn on notifications, share this video on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and other platforms. Let me know if you think that let me know if you think it's too late for Hawk, or if Hawk can come back from all of this, if he can find redemption and he can find balance in the force. Let me know what you think, and talk to me in the comments. We'll talk more later. Peace.